Immigration is a subject which touches us all. Out of approximately 314 million people residing in the United States, only 3 million people, 0.9% of the population, is of Native American descent. We all know the stories of "give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free." But in modern times, is that still the mindset? Is America still the land of opportunity for people who want to live here? In making this documentary, I interviewed 3 people, all with different ties to immigration in the United States. Melissa Ferber is a British citizen who wishes to move to America from her home country. Vasily Kopdilov, a Russian-born immigrant, moved into the country 7 years ago with his mother. And last, Burhan Marvi, a first-generation American whose parents moved from Pakistan 1 year before he was born. In a recent interview, I discussed with Melissa why she wants to move to the United States, leaving her home country where she has lived for the past 22 years.
Well, I wanted to live in America since I was about 5 years old. I'm not sure why, I only just learnt about America at that age. When I was 6 years old, my great uncle came over from Canada and told me all about America and Canada, and he'd been traveling a bit around there, and I just fell in love with it even more. Then finally, when I was 18, I came out my room, turned around to my parents and said, "Hey, I'm going to America." Their response was, "Yeah, when you're 21. I said, "No, in 2 weeks, I've just booked my flight." So that was the first time I went to America. I traveled by myself. I stayed in Maryland, and I visited pretty much every year since 2009 until last year.
You have plans for moving to the U.S. to become a permanent citizen. How do you plan to do that? When do you plan to do that?
Oh gosh, how do I plan to do that at the moment? It seems with fairy dust. When I plan to do that is 2 years ago. As I said before, I've wanted to move to America since I was little, but I graduated university in 2012, and my plan was to move as soon after I graduated university, get a job, do my master's degree and PhD in America, and pretty much live the dream. The only problem with that is it is very hard to immigrate to America if you come from a very, I guess, like, good country. Like, if I came from one of the third world countries, then you could pretty much get a American citizenship pretty quickly. They have what's called the green card lottery, which Britain is actually exempt from that because we're seen as, an okay country to live, so why the hell would you ever want to move? So yeah, at the moment I'm struggling to find a way into America, just trying to get a job because there are 3 ways to get into America. You either have a parent over there, you marry a citizen, or someone hires you and they sponsor you, which I don't have the first two, and the third one, no one really wants to hire a 22-year-old inexperienced teacher.
It turns out not only Great Britain is ineligible for the green card lottery, 18 other countries share the list of ineligibility, and to say the variation between nations on the list is large is an understatement. That does leave her with only an employer sponsorship as her way into the United States as a permanent citizen. In my next interview, I talked to Vasily about why his family came over from Russia and what he had heard about the United States before moving.
My father moved to America when I was 6, and yeah, the whole life he just kept telling me like it's better here than in Russia, and eventually my mother agreed on that, and yeah,
What did you know about the U.S. before you moved here?
nothing really. I knew they had bigger stores and like money more, and chances of actually getting some money here is bigger, better, higher.
What is, having lived in Russia for years, did you hear any opinion? Like, what is the generalized opinions of Russians on the United States? Is it
Paradise. They literally just
Promised Land?
think it's, yeah, promised land. They're like, yay, American dream.
A difference can be seen clearly here. Melissa's friends and family ridicule the concept of moving to America, while in Russia, the United States is viewed as a paradise. What leads to this stark contrast? In our last interview, I talked with Burhan about what he thinks the effect of recently immigrated parents has been on him.
Well, one of the main things I think is they're really strict on grades in school because like they realize the importance of doing well in school and making something out of yourself.
Do you feel different? Like, do you feel there's a significant culture gap between yourself and other non-immigrant students?
Um, at times I do, cause like mostly in school there's mostly kids of the African American and Caucasian status, and they have different traditions than I do. So when I like the way I do things to prepare for school and study is different than them, and like sometimes I do better in school than them, and like so like I get like kind of I don't know how to describe it like
Teased?
I want to say teased, kind of like praised, but not like praised in like a godly manner, but like I'm respected, kind of.
You have told me that you visited Pakistan before. What is your perspective on the life there compared to the U.S.?
Well, my parents said that like the main reason Pakistan's economy is like all messed up is because everyone's there is lazy. So the roads there are messed up and everything is like the standard of living is kind of lower.
How do you view it in your eyes? Your family's history of being in Pakistan. Does it affect your plans for the future, or do you just plan to just kind of go on with your life as if you were like, say, like me, a fourth generation or fifth generation American?
Yeah, I plan to just like go on with my life, make sure I do well in school and get a good job.
These interviews, although various, show that America still holds an image of opportunity and wonder to the world. As a young nation with one of the loosest social hierarchies in the world, the social mobility means anything is possible. Even though it may be hard to make it into the country for some, others who have made it agree it's worth it.